Hi, I'm going to attempt to do a quick video on the ATR projections indicator because somebody had called out about a manual or a video and I did not realize I didn't have one. So I'm doing this right now for him. So I've downloaded, hold on, let me pause. Okay, sorry. So on the web page, it's this one right here, ATR Projections. And if you notice, when I went to that page, I don't have any video on there, so I will make one right now here. But also, if you notice down in strategies, I got the trader. So it's the same concept. Both one's a strategy that automatically trades, and this one just plots on your screen for you manually. So this strategy I've kind of abandoned only because I went to this one and I've got more time, money, and effort invested in this one. So this one, we are taking some pieces and parts of that one and sticking the code into this one. But this one still works. It's just that, the settings are, you just got to play with settings because I couldn't give you any good settings on it. But you can play around with it. So in any event, I've installed this indicator and I forget what the default days are. I think it's like 30 days, 20 days or something like that. But I will need your machine ID in order to continue it further, which I have no problem doing. I just need a contact form so I can get your information, your machine ID number. Anyway, so it's down here. If you download it, it's under ATR projections right there as an indicator. So here it is right here. And let me just show you what it does first of all, then we'll show you how to do the settings on it. So let's do that. So I'm cruising along here. This is just a NASDAQ. So let's say I put an order on down there. It's going to show you that if I get in right here for long, your target 1, target 2, and target 3 is whatever it's set up for. Here, let's make this a little wider so you can see it. Let's see if that works a little bit more. There, let's try it. There you go. I can see the numbers. And then obviously your stop is there. Now we did not lock this in. It hasn't taken the trade, so it could be moved. It needs to calculate, so I'm gonna go a little faster. And if I moved it up here, then obviously it's gonna move their numbers. There, it's calculate. It just takes a second to calculate numbers. And you can see you just keep moving it. However, once you do get in a trade, you're not going to be able to do that again because it's locked in. So now they're frozen. So now you can't. So now it's, if you want to put your target there, or if it just gives you a range, you can always move it down, whatever you want to do. So let's just go with the one ATR target. I would say it's do it there. Obviously, if you had it set up like that, if you have your ATM set up, again, this is manual, so you don't have, the ATM would have to be set up to match this. On the ATR trader, which does it, it would automatically place your targets at these spots and your stop here. But this is an indicator, so it's not going to do that automatically. So you need to say, you need to change your ATM management, or however you do it through the DOM, or however you do it. But the point of it is, it's just going to show you in the chart what it is. Now you notice I have A on here. This is stop loss A, target 1A, target 2A, and so on. And the reason for that is because you could have synthetic, and all my things that I had are all synthetic. I love synthetic things. But what I mean by synthetic is a synthetic chart. So right now I'm looking at a 5-minute chart, but I could put a 15-minute chart ATR on here, and I'll show you that in just a minute once we get into settings. So anyway, let's, I guess we can get out of here.
Target fill.
So there it is. And they're going to stay on the screen. Your little dashes there will stay on the screen. And if this moves up, you'll see the little dashes moving up. I'll show you later, I'm sure. But the point of it is that they're locked in. Now, if you turn off the indicator or change the indicator, then obviously they're going to go away because it's now new settings. So let's, so here we are. So enable chart, stop loss. So this is how you set up your stop losses. So 2.5 ATR, target 1, target 2, target 3. And if you don't want target 3, just turn it off. I don't know why you wouldn't want a stop loss, but anyway, that's going to show. And you can change the colors. These are the defaults that I like, but do what you want. And then as far as you have different time frames, these actually came from the reversal bars, because the reversal bars was my very first one with NinjaTrader 7. And again, all of my indicators I made for me. They weren't ideally ready for sale or anything. They were just made for me. And because I like to have my rules automated, and then so somebody talked to me about vendors and all that kind of business. So I'm like, okay, and then more and more people wanted it. So my first indicator that I put up was the new, when we went to Ninja 8. It was reversal bars for NinjaTrader 8, and a lot of people wanted it, so I started just putting it on availability at a cost. And then the next biggest thing, the big thing, which is probably the most common, is Discipline Manager, and that I definitely made for me because I have an issue, and that one is probably the most common, widely used right now to date. But all these other indicators were made for me, and you can see that I have the different 5 time zones. Now, to be honest with you, even though we stole the code from the reversal bars, to have 5 time zones of different ATRs would be a little, plus if you had 3 targets, that's 15 targets and 3 stops. It's just a little overbearing. So they're there. I'm not going to take them off. But if you wanted to do, let's enable B. And for this one, you're going to base it on a different time frame. So this one, we want to base it on a 15-minute time frame. So we'll stick with the same numbers here. No big deal as far as that is concerned. But we've enabled it, and we put in there 15 minutes. So now I'm going to say OK to it, and you notice the 9 lines are gone because we've refreshed it. Turn this off here. Okay. So now let's say if I put on an order here.
Order submitted.
Now you can see I've got A and B. So here's your 5-minute time frame, and B is your 15-minute time frame. And you could totally see how if you had 5 time frames, there'd be a lot of numbers to be looking at. Yeah, you could change the dashes, the dots, and you could change the colors and all that, but it'd just be crazy. It's probably too much. So I think A and B is plenty. But it does give you the indicator that it's an A and a B, and there's your stop loss for B, etc. So it depends on how you want to do it. So again, it recalculates, but until you get locked in. So here, let's get rid of that. Let's just go along.
Order filled.
Okay. So now I'm locked in, and there we are. Now you could turn off those. I mean, you don't need to see them all. If you only want to see B, you could just see B. Even though you're trading on a 5-minute chart, you want to see, and that's what I do. I always trade on I call my primary chart is my money, the price flow, price action is the primary chart, and I use a small chart. However, all of my indicators that I have, not one of them come from that small chart. They're all from bigger charts. So in this case, what you would want to do is if you went back in here, if you didn't want to see this small chart, now I don't trade minute charts, but needless to say. So I'm going to enable this main one here, or disable that one, and I'm only going to use this one here. Now they're going to go away, and I don't think they're going to recalculate again, so I got to close. I'll do a new trade. There, now it should pop up. Oh, that's Discipline Manager, the newest version on a naked order. So anyway, that's something else. So there you go. So I've taken off A altogether. So we're not going to be looking at the 5-minute ATRs. We're only going to be looking at the 15-minute ATRs, which is on B. A is always going to be your primary chart. So if you switch to a 15-minute or 20-minute chart, whatever minute chart it is, or Renko, I use the Ninja Renko, it's always going to show you your primary chart is going to be A. You don't have a choice in that. So B would be the next one. So now here, because we're doing an indicator, we're manually doing it, you could just manually change them yourself. In this case, bring it down to there, or bring it up to there. So anyway, that's pretty much about it. It's kind of simple, cut and dry. And just going back into the settings here real quick again. Try to make this video short. So there's time frame A, your A chart, and then your B chart, C chart if you want them, and we'll go into B since that's active. I've enabled it. If you want to change your stop loss from white to red, you can. If you're using a white background, you probably won't see anything, actually, now that I think about that. So I've tried to stay away from that with my later ones. I've realized that people use black and white, so I've always tried to stay away from black and white on the colors, but this is an older program. So anyway, so you could change these if you want. You notice I have a dash and a dash dot, a dash dot dot, so it is a little different, but not too much. You can change the colors on all those. And if you don't want them, then you don't even need to plot them. You can just plot the first one if you want. Plotting all three here now. So basically that is all this for theirs. And then the parameters is typically they're going to be defaults from Ninja. The 14 is typical default. Here's your chart. That's pretty much about it. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. So there's really nothing else to do here other than have the market go in my direction. Now, of course, I just went long. Now, that was my ATM. You saw that? Okay, here. That was my ATM that jumped up that fast and kicked me out. Probably shouldn't have used the ATM for my next video, which I'm going to do. I'll just take it off. But you could see how it moved up. So there was that very first one. So here it was there. The stop jumped there because of whatever reason. Then it jumped there, and then it obviously kicked me out. So here, I can do it again.
Order filled.
So, oh, no, I don't have any at all. So why isn't it giving me? Oh, it needs to calculate. I had it off. Yeah, it needs a few ticks to calculate. Okay, so I guess I don't have. That's why I like ATM. So I guess I could make my own manual stop. So I would do a. Oh gosh, I've done this in a while. So there's a stop, and there's a target.
Order submitted.
So yeah. In any event, so well, here, let's just cancel this.
Order
Let's start all over.
filled.
So let me go in here. Let's turn this down to a normal size. Okay, now I'm just killing time. All right, so here,
Order filled.
naked order. Yes, we know that. So now let's just do a sell target.
Order submitted.
Fine. Okay, so now you've got your. I'm assuming you have them all set up manually in your ATM, but I don't. So you would just move it up like that, and then you can take whichever one you want. And here, I'll go this way. Hopefully it'll go up. I want to see how this trails. You can kind of see how it. Actually, just get out of the way. You can see how it's trailing here. And I think this is it for the video. So you can sign off anytime you want. Yeah. See. Okay. Well, anyway, that's that. Boy, I wish I could do that. Anyway, all right, that's all I got for you. And if you don't want it, you turn it off. Pretty much about it. I don't know what else to say. All right, thanks. Bye.